Drafting and Reviving Enrichment by Angie.
And Caitlin.
What is a thesis statement? A thesis statement is a sentence or two which states the main point of a writing assignment and helps control the ideas within the paper. It usually serves a summary of the argument you will make in the rest of the paper. Your thesis statement should direct the structure of your essay and help the reader comprehend the ideas you discuss. It usually reflects an opinion or judgment that a writer has made after reading. What makes an effective thesis statement? In your thesis statement, you want to make a claim that will represent your own ideas. This claim will be developed throughout your whole paper. It is important to make sure the reader can easily comprehend what you're arguing about. To ensure that, you want to make sure your thesis statement expresses only one main idea. If it expresses more than one main idea, then the readers might be confused about the subject of the paper. Drafting a working thesis. When drafting a thesis, you want to focus on answering the question you were posed, resolving the problem you identified, or picking a side on a debatable topic. By following that process, you will find that it helps you focus your thinking and will guide you to create your working thesis. You will also want to make sure you support your thesis and explain why.
When revising the thesis, you want to make sure that you have narrow enough evidence so that you know that it's only about your thesis, so that it makes your thesis more clear. You also want to make sure you do have a clear thesis so you can avoid being too vague and confusing your audience. You want to remember the audience's purpose for reading and any expectations they might have to keep your writing effective. Some other methods and tactics to use is to remember why the audience is reading. That way you can have their opinion and make it so you can persuade them easier. You also want to remember why the thesis is important so that it's more easy for you to explain to the reader through your writing why they should agree. You want to make sure that your thesis isn't too obvious so that you can have interpretations throughout the rest of your writing to make it your own. Some other things to remember is that the thesis needs to require proof throughout the writing so that there's more of an explanation to why the thesis would be one to agree with. Your thesis should not be a question, however it can answer a question. I want to try to avoid any fuzzy words such as good, disgusting, or interesting so that your thesis and writing in general does not become too confusing with words that can have many meanings. I want to make sure your thoughts are organized so you don't confuse the audience throughout the reading.
Here's a video.
An additional strategy for revision is called a reverse outline. When you create a reverse outline, you work from the full paper toward an outline of the paper, a reversal of the traditional outlining process. Read each paragraph, and then write a single sentence that sums up the key point of that paragraph. This process can help point out gaps in your argument and help you discover points where you've unnecessarily repeated the same information more than once. As you complete this process, check the elements of the reverse outline against your key points and thesis statement. This will help you to determine whether your topic sentences and thesis accurately capture the key points you flesh out in your paragraphs.
And there's some true or false as review of the information. True or false, a thesis statement is a statement that is usually at the beginning of an article that explains what the article is about. And it's true. A thesis can be as vague and as broad as you want. That's false.